Dear all, welcome to our discussions on predictions for 2023. So basically, these are generalized predictions. This won't be a prediction for a particular person in general, but it will be an overall generalized prediction based on your ascendant chart. So there are two references. One is ascendant and another is moon Rashi. Wherever moon is placed, that is considered to be your Rashi. That is how the general term Rashi comes into picture. Whereas ascendant or Lagna means it's your personality. That is at the time of your birth, the horizon, whichever the horizon is at, whichever Rashi is at the horizon, it becomes your ascendant. That is called Lagna. That is your personality. So in astrology, Lagna represents your personality, moon represents your mind, and sun represents your soul. So generally, that is how in newspapers you see predictions based on sun sign, moon shine, etc. But we consider it on the basis of Lagna. That is the personality, which is more accurate. So coming down, we will be discussing on the predictions for based on the Saturn, Aries, that is Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu. So basically these signs will be transiting. In astrology what happens every particular year or every particular time, a period of time, planets move from one Rashi to another, one sign to another. For example, moon moves every 2.5 days from one sign to another. Sun moves every month. The date is around 15th. That is how this Shankramana or Shankranti is celebrated. The general term is Makara Shankranti, which everyone knows. Makara Shankranti is when sun moves from Sagittarius to Capricorn. So the day it moves to Capricorn, its direction changes. It is in the Uttarayana or the northern hemisphere. From Capricorn to Gemini, when it traverses from Capricorn to Gemini, it is northern hemisphere. It is called as Uttarayana. When it traverses from Cancer to through Sagittarius, it is Dakshinayana. So that's how the terms come. So now we will try to analyze what would be the happenings here for different ascendants. So the main three references which we take is Saturn, Jupiter and Rahu Ketu. This is because these are the main planets which affect one's life. Of course, there are other planets like Mars, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, which also affect our life, but the duration is very less. Okay, so example, Mars stays in a sign for about say 30 to 40 days or something like that. So its effect is short but sharp. Similarly, Venus stays in an sign for about 45 days, whereas moon stays just for 2.5 days. That's how we get mood swings. The general term we use as mood swings, famous in women also. So basically when moon is in particular sign, maybe based on your charts you may get fall in love with someone, and that love lasts for only 2-3 days, and suddenly after that 2-3 days you see that love on that person automatically goes away, or you are upset for some days of the month. So say for 2-3 days you are upset. That's because moon might be moving in a particular Rashi where it is getting affected. So that's a short thing. Similarly, sun stays in a sign for about a month. Okay, and various other planets stay in signs for a different period of time. When it comes to Saturn stays in an sign for about 2.5 years. Okay, so it's almost 30 months. So it's a long period. So that's how Saturn is considered very important in our charts or in transit. If Saturn is good, this whole 2.5 years is going to be very, very profitable or very, very pleasant. But if the 2.5 years the Saturn turns out to be weak, then it is going to be hell. And similarly, there is something called as Sadesati, that is 7.5. In Hindi it is read as Sadasati, 7.5. In English it's nothing but 7.5. Since most of the astrologers are from North India, the general term Sadasati has come into picture. But it's again generalized. So Sadasati is nothing but when Saturn moves to a particular sign, is basically related to moon. Okay, it is basically related to moon Rashi. So wherever moon is placed and Saturn moves to the natal moon in your chart, that becomes the critical period of your life. So for example, now Saturn is going to going to enter Aquarius from Jan 17th. So people born with moon Rashi in Aquarius, they will have a tough time generally. It's considered because Saturn is trouble, moon is mind. So there are a lot of mental tensions going to happen in this 2.5 years. Now what happens again, to be precise, in a chart, moon is placed in a house. So in astrology there is something called as a presiding house and then next house. So the presiding house is the previous house is called as 12th house, the next house is called as second house. Okay, and moon wherever it's called as Rashi or the first house. So now when Saturn moves to Aquarius, so it is going to be the first house. Actually the Sadasati starts when Saturn starts moving to the 12th house. Okay, it's the previous house of the moon. So the trouble starts here. It's a starting point. When it enters to the sign where moon is present, it is the peak point. And when it enters into the second house, the next house of the moon, it becomes the residing. So in that way, it's a total 7.5 years period. Generally, it's considered as a tough period. But again, if Saturn is strong, it has good number of points in Ashtavarga, that period is going to be good. It again depends upon chart to chart. So that's the brief of Saturn. Now while coming to Jupiter. While coming to Jupiter, Jupiter stays in an sign for about 13 months. Okay, it is going to stay in a sign for 13 months. So generally Jupiter is considered as a benefic planet which bestows good results, generally related to marriage, generally related to sons, generally related to knowledge, generally related to wisdom. So all these things are going to shine. So that is how Jupiter is considered as a very good planet which gives marriage to women generally in its period, and also to men. Guru Dasha is considered as a positive sign, and this 13 months, whichever sign it goes, it generally gives pleasant. It gives good pleasant, even though if it is weak, it will provide some relief. So people look forward for Guru Dasha. So that is 13 months. Now moving to Rahu. Now actually Rahu and Ketu are always opposite to each other. They move in an centralized axis. Okay, so the transit takes place at same time. Now particularly when we speak about Rahu, Rahu is a sudden planet. Okay, it gives events which are sudden in nature. So generally Rahu gives sudden events which may be positive, which may be negative. Okay, again based on the chart. So you can expect things to happen suddenly, either for good or for bad. If Rahu is afflicted with benefic planets like Jupiter, it will give very good results. But if it is afflicted with negative planets like Mars or Saturn, it gives bad results. So that's all. So that is the nature of Rahu. We'll see how it will happen. And Rahu is also considered as a foreign planet, which gives more of foreign to your nature. Okay, so it gives a culture, it gives something related to culture which is unknown to you. So that is the nature of Rahu. And going back to Ketu. Ketu is again a kind of a negative planet which gives an idea of renouncement. It wants to just give away. It is a mindless planet. It's considered as mindless. So when I say mindless, it means your thinking power is blocked because of Ketu. Whenever you run a Ketu period, we generally tend to not think. We just act blindly based on direction given by someone else. So that is how the terrorists act. And terrorists, they don't use their mind. They only use their mind with the application of or instruction from the higher authority. Whatever higher authority says, they do. If the higher authority asks them to go and bomb an area, they just go and bomb. So they don't apply. You see all those things in the news, how they work on the directions of their leaders or their superiors. So why I'm just giving you this idea is, when we're going to speak about the transits, you will understand what is going to happen. It's a brief backup I'm giving to you. It's not only prediction, it's also to improve our knowledge in astrology, how astrology works. Right? So we will be starting these predictions. So we'll start with Aries. Okay, Aries is also called as Mesha Rashi. Local whatever language or Sanskrit language, it is called as Mesha Rashi. Now what happens to Aries, we'll see. Okay, now in Aries, see, as I told you, we will be going through these 3 planets. These 3 planets are going to transit. We are going to consider these 3 planets. For Aries, Saturn is going to move from Capricorn to Aquarius from January 13th. Sorry, from January 17th. That is 4 days from what I'm going to make the video. Now Saturn is going to aspect 3 houses from Aquarius. It is going to aspect the first house, that is the Lagna or the personality. It is going to aspect the house of 4, that is it is going to aspect the house of romance, picnic, investment, and it is going to aspect the 8th house. 8th house is basically losses or hidden wealth and kind of troubles. So Aries people will have these areas affected. So 11th house represents profits. So one thing what we can predict is Aries people will have profits. The social circle is going to increase. Maybe their elder siblings will have a good time. Again, Saturn should be strong for that. If Saturn is weak, the other things will happen. They may face troubles, but generally Saturn is good in the 11th house. So 11th house is an house of expansion, so they can see expansions in these areas of network. They may also travel outside India, foreign, whatever. It may be outside India also, in the sense out of their country. I mean, the watchers may be from different countries, viewers may be from different countries, so accordingly they may travel outside. Then other than that, their first house is going to get affected, so they have to keep a good watch on their health, because in Aries Saturn is daily beated, so their health may be affected, so they need to be cautious about it. The personality may have get into some diseases or some kind of trouble. At the same time, Saturn is going to have a direct aspect on 5th house, which is the house of investment, which is the house of romance, which is the house of love, picnic, etc. Since it is Leo, I believe there might be some trouble in these areas, also areas of investment, areas of love, picnic, romance, investment. They should be cautious on this place. they need to be very cautious and maybe avoid also. Along with it, Saturn is going to have an aspect on the 10th house from where it stays. Okay, so here it will affect their region related to, again, 8th house is also related to life or health or long life. It also represents hidden health. So all these things will be affected, so they need to be careful about it. So this is the predictions for Saturn for Aries, and same way Jupiter is going to transit from Pisces to Aries. Okay, so one step ahead. This will happen in April 22nd. So after April 22nd, so Guru will move to Mesha Rashi. Okay, so it will be their ascendant. So this is going to aspect on the area of love life, investment, marriage, and 9th house of Dharma. So all these three things will be affecting their thing. Since Jupiter is a good, is a positive planet, so there are chances for Aries people to get married after April 22nd, because it is a house of marriage. So some good news will be there related to marriage, related to wife. If they are not married, if they are married already, then relationship will improve. So that's what we can see. And there will be good probabilities in romance. Investment will go up in the 5th house. 5th house related to investment also, so investments may go up. They may crack some interviews also, so they may get some good jobs. Possibilities there. Also, it's going to aspect house of Dharma, which is again going to help them to be more religious, and maybe their father, if they have ascendants, they'll have good relationships with them. So overall it will be a positive moment. Now again, after this, the next transit is of Rahu. Now what happens to Rahu? Rahu will move negative. It's not that it moves anti-clockwise. See, all the planets in the chart move anti-clockwise, whereas Rahu and Ketu move clockwise. Okay, they are called Vakri. So Rahu will be moving to 12th house. From 12th house, Rahu is going to aspect the 4th house and the 8th house. Basically, this trikona, this triangle, it will be aspecting, it will be affecting. Now 12th house is considered to be, for Aries, 12th house is considered to be house of expenses. So you can expect some expenses. It is also house of foreign, maybe you will have foreign travel, and also it is house of hospital, medical. So some medical issues might come up, expenses with medical issues. And also 12th house is foreign, so foreign travel is there, and also it is jail, so something related to confinement. So all these things will be there, but don't worry, it won't be negative every time, it may be positive also. Generally nowadays foreign travel is considered and happy news. And these things are going to happen after October 30th. So Rahu is going to transit from October 30th. That is almost November and December. The last 2 months. This prediction is for last 2 months of the year. Okay. So these things will be there because it is going to aspect the 4th house. So something related to house. So Rahu is aspecting 4th house. So again, it will try to get you out of the house and related to your house. Some issue related to your house. It might be trouble also. But if it is strong, Rahu is strong in a natal chart, it gives maybe a bigger house or travel to some spiritual place, because 12th house is also spirituality, it's moksha place, so it may give you something related to spiritualism. And then it's going to aspect your 8th house, that is the house of loss or house of death or house of, again, secret knowledge. So might be you can concentrate more on your secret knowledge. Is going to improve your secret knowledge. Also it might give you sudden wealth. It's a sudden loss or sudden, because Rahu is a sudden planet, it might give you sudden wealth or it might take away your wealth also, so sudden loss also. So be prepared for all the things. And while it comes to Ketu, Now Ketu is going to transit into your 6th house. So 6th house is considered to be house of work, house of diseases, house of expansion. It is a Upachaya house also. It's a kind of positive thing for Aries, because Ketu in 6th house gives again good results, expansions. So if you have any litigations or something related to enemies, you can win over your enemies, win over your litigations. For sports person, it is going to be a good period. There will be winning competitions, etc. So that is Ketu. Again, Ketu from here is going to aspect the 10th house and the 2nd house. So what I say is Ketu aspecting 10th house, trouble related to jobs, something related to job. It's not trouble, but some kind of, because 10th house is also considered as a house of Upachaya, expansion. So there might be something events related to your work, karma, and your finances. And your 2nd house is finances. 2nd house is also your kutumba. 2nd house is your speech, and 2nd house also is money, because your savings. 12th house is expenses. 2nd house is your savings. So you need to be careful about your expenses and savings. So that would be the predictions for Ketu this year. Now we will be moving to Taurus. Now for Taurus, same thing we will be seeing. The chart changes. So number 2 represents Taurus. So this is the chart for Taurus. Here we will be giving the predictions. From now on, I will try to brush. I think I have given you the basic knowledge. From here onwards, you have to see how the transits happens, where it's going to aspect, and the houses, the area of life which is going to affect. So it will be in that way. Now first starting with Saturn. Okay, for Taurus people, Saturn is going to enter into the 10th house. Now 10th house is the house of profession, karma. From 10th house it is going to aspect your 12th house. It is going to, that is 1, 2, 3. Saturn always aspects 3rd house, 7th house and 10th house from wherever it is. Okay, so 3rd house is going to affect, that is your 12th house. It is going to affect your 4th house, house of family, and 7, 8, 9, 10. Also it is going to affect your marriage, the 10th house. So we'll see what would be the repercussions. Okay, when Saturn comes or is going to affect your 3rd house, first we'll start with the 10th house, because it's going to stay there. So at this period, Saturn for Taurus people is in your 10th house. So this is going to be an important time related to your jobs. If Saturn is strong, your job is going to shine. If Saturn is weak, your jobs are going to get affected. You may find some trouble in your workplace. And also Saturn, it's a trouble issue. It will trouble your jobs. Okay, so just check your points in Ashtavarga. If in Ashtavarga Saturn has good number of points, it's going to give positive results. If it is less, then negative. Again, so that would be the main concern of area for Saturn people, for Taurus people on their job area. Other than that, Saturn is going to also aspect the 12th house. That is the 3rd house from 10th house, from house of profession is 12th house, which is house of expenses or house of foreign travel, etc. So these things will be there, because what I say is a deliberated Mesha Rashi is deliberation for Saturn. So Taurus people should be very careful regarding their health, their expenses, regarding the foreign travel. Expenses may be also related to foreign travel. Expenses may be also due to spending money or donations in the temples. See, donation in the temples is also a good thing. One thing is, see, when we are in trouble, we generally go to the temples and get some pujas done. So after these pujas, we have to give dakshinas to the pujaris. So generally, it's a time when you spend money. Okay, that's what I see. So these things, the donations whatever we do in the temple should be done in an positive spirit. It should not be done with a burden, spirit of burden, that oh, I have to spend so much. No, don't be in that mood, because however you are going to spend money, either this way or that way. If you spend it in a good way, spend it happily. Example also, like there may be a fight or there may be a divorce in a family, and husband may have to pay some alimony to the wife. Instead of paying the alimony with disheartened way, he can give it in a happier way. Instead of going for a divorce, he may settle and keep the wife with him and pay her good, so she is happy and she stays with him. However, he has to pay, whether she leaves him and go or she stays with him. He can happily pay her and keep her happy. So that's how, it's just a metaphor I'm giving you. So the 12th house represents expenses. So expenses are bound to happen. So whatever expenses are happening, be prepared and try to give away the money in a happier way. Maybe it may be fines to the government also. Sometimes we get fined by the government for some reasons. We have to think that it's a time that I have to give money, so let me give it happily, not in a disheartened way. So that is what is written in your karma. It has to happen, destiny. So give it in a happier mode. So that's what I mean to say. Now next, Saturn is also going to have an aspect on 4th house for Taurus people. So you can expect some trouble in your family, and due to being 4th house being Leo, and Saturn is the enemy to Leo. Again, based on the planet sitting there, there might be some troubles in the family, so you need to take care of that. And also, if you're planning to build a house, etc., there may be troubles in progress of the construction of the house. But if Saturn is strong, things might turn out good. So be cautious about your house. And also, Saturn is going to aspect the 10th house, house of partnership, house of family. So your spouse, whether husband or wife, anyone may get a bit of health issues may be found in them. So be careful about your spouse health, and also some troubles may creep up. So you need to watch out for that. If you are running Saturn Mahadasha, then Saturn Mahadasha or Antardasha, you may expect marriage for unmarried people. If you are already married, be careful about the troubles which you see. So this is related to the Saturn. Now coming to Rahu. Okay. So presently Rahu is in Aries. Okay, first we'll finish Jupiter. Now presently Jupiter is in 11th house. Now Jupiter will move to the 12th house. Now Jupiter will move to the 12th house from April 22nd. Saturn will move to your 10th house from January 17th. That is 3-4 days from now. And after 4 months, that is from April, Jupiter is going to move into the Taurus. Again, it is going to move into the 12th house. So that is also a troublesome period. But since Jupiter is a benefic planet, it might give good results. So again, the expenditures will be related to your dharmic activities. You may spend some expenditures, and it might be a marriage also, because marriage is also considered an expenditure. So unmarried people can expect some good happenings, because in marriage expenses happens. So this may be an indirect indication of a marriage also. And other than that, Jupiter also might give foreign travels, good foreign travels. One should be people of Taurus should be careful about their expenses. That's what I mean in brief. Okay. And from 12th house, Jupiter is going to aspect your 6th house. So again, you may spend more of your energy or activities or work in related to dharmic activities. You may get into dharmic activities, and also you need to be careful about your health also, related to jaundice or related to liver or something like that. So these things also should be taken care of. And also from 12th house, Jupiter will be aspecting 4th house, which means something related to your house. See, at the same time, Saturn is going to aspect your 4th house. At the same time, Jupiter is also going to aspect your 4th house, which means the trouble caused by Saturn will be neutralized by Jupiter. So that is a positive sign. And Jupiter is also going to aspect your 8th house. So something related to your under hidden wealth or trouble or some suffering, these things will be taken care by Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to help you in solving those issues. If Jupiter is strong in your chart, if Jupiter is weak, okay, you can expect negative results. So this is the areas which will be affecting. Jupiter will be affecting your house of expenses or your kutumba family itself, your house wherever you're staying, and also your troubles. It is going to affect your trouble house, or it's generally called as house of death, or house of hidden wealth, house of occult signs. If you are if Taurus people want to learn something about occult science, that would be a good period from April 22nd. If you are interested to read some scriptures or study astrology, etc., you can start the work at that time. Now coming to Rahu. For Rahu transit, for Taurus people, Rahu will be transmitting to your 11th house from October 30th. So from your 11th house, Rahu will be aspecting your 7th house, 3rd house. So this is the triangle area which is going to affect your life. So your house of 11th house is considered again house of expansion. So generally your circle will improve, some profits can be expected. If you are looking to sell some of your property, that is also a good thing to happen. So all these issues can be done. It is going to aspect your 3rd house also. So house of your siblings, so take care of your siblings. It is also going to aspect your 7th house. If you are unmarried, you can look for a marriage for a foreigner or out of your culture, that would be fine. And also you can expect some kind of trouble with your partners if married. Other than that, partnerships will be affected. Okay, so these are predictions for Rahu. And when it comes to Ketu will be transmitting to your 5th house. So since Ketu will be in 5th house, so your house of investment will be getting affected. Your investments, you should be careful about your investments. You may have fights with your partners, lovers, romantic partners. You may have a fight with them, bad mouthing. And also women should be careful during pregnancy. They may have issues related to pregnancy. Abortions might happen because Ketu in 5th house is not good for stomach. So stomach related issues may be coming up. So Taurus people may face some issues related to their stomach or trouble in the stomach area, which includes pancreas, livers, etc. If you have some disease in this, please get checked up and try to solve. From 5th house, Ketu also aspects the Lagna, the 9th house. So this is a triangle. So from here, if Aries, that is the house of Lagna, personality. So your personality may become a bit more like fighting nature. So you may get into fights, verbal fights. So be careful about it. And at the same time, you tend to become more spiritual also, dharmic. So your inclination will be towards religiousness. So that is also a good point. So these are predictions for Taurus. Now we move to the predictions for Gemini. Now Gemini people, so 1 minute, I don't mind. Okay, now for Gemini people, Saturn will be moving to 9th house, that is house of Dharma. So something related to law, you can expect. If you have some pending court cases, etc., you may find some results here. You need to take care of your father's health also. and some issues related to your ankles. If you are old aged person, if you have some issues in your kneecaps or your ankles, you should be careful about that. This is the predictions for Gemini which I'm trying to give. So these things you need to take care of yourself. Other than that, from ninth house, Saturn will be aspecting your 11th house, which is the house of profit. So reduction in profit is possible because Saturn is deliberated in your 11th house. So profits may go down and your friend circle may get affected. They may be dissatisfied with you for some reason. If you have elder siblings, maybe you may have to face or get some bad news from your elder siblings, sister or brother, whoever it might be. And your foreign travels may not be so profitable. Is a prediction for Saturn concerned to their 11th house, and Saturn is going to aspect the 7th house from there, that is the 3rd house. So again, related to trouble related to your younger siblings, trouble related to your shoulders. You may have some shoulder problem, face some shoulder problem, so be careful about it. And again, trouble related to your initiatives. It's not only trouble, see, again it depends upon Saturn, how Saturn is strong or weak. If it is strong, you may get good results in this area. If it is weak, you may have to face some troubles, so be careful about it. From here, Saturn is going to again affect your 6th house, that is the house of activities. It's a good sign. So maybe you may do some activities related to medical karma, etc. If you have pets, you may enjoy your pets association. So overall, it's a mixed period. See, Saturn aspecting these houses is a good thing because these are all Upachaya houses. So you can also find some expansion in these houses. That's the prediction related to Saturn for Gemini. Now coming to Jupiter. Jupiter is going to transit to the 11th house, which is again in a house of expansion. See, what is happening in this year's transit is, till April, people may find some troubles. When Jupiter transits, it's going to give some relief. Jupiter will transit to the 11th house. Whatever damage done by Saturn till April will be taken care by Jupiter. When Jupiter enters, it is going to take care of your damages done by Saturn. So your 11th house, that is the problem related to your siblings, elder siblings, will be reduced. Again, Jupiter from here is going to aspect the 3rd house, that is travels, which is related to your siblings, will be solved. Again, something related to your partners, the partnership might improve. You may again, people in Gemini, people may find their partners and get married, or if already married, your relationship with your wife, whatever, wife or husband, will improve. All such things will happen. So that is the predictions related to Jupiter. Now, as far as Rahu is concerned, Rahu for Gemini people will move to the 10th house of profession from October 30th. So that means your professional area will come into picture from October 30th, that is last quarter of this year, November, December, January. So your jobs might get affected, so be careful about your jobs. So there is news about your jobs. From here, Rahu is going to aspect the 2nd house of your finances, house of your savings. So that savings will affected your close family. There might be some fights, so financial crunch might be coming up after October 30th. From there, it also aspects your 6th house, which is house of work. This, you are going to fight with your enemies. Some litigations might be there, some diseases may prop up, so be careful about it. So this is the 3 areas which is going to cover from Rahu. So your job, that is profession, your immediate family. Be careful about your speech. Anger, eruptions of your anger. You can speak anything. You might speak some words which may affect your family members. So control your speech and control your work related to 6th house. Also, drive carefully when you're driving or riding, whatever, because injuries are seen after October 30th for Gemini people. As far as Ketu is there, Ketu will move to again 4th house. So this is your 4th house. So trouble in your 4th house, I see. So also, if you have problems related to your heart, please be careful about your cardio, because Ketu increases your pulse rate. So if you have something problems related to blood pressure, etc., please check. So please also check your heartbeats, Gemini people. From 4th house, Ketu is going to aspect 12th house and 8th house. So these three areas. So 12th house means again foreign travel will be seen, medical expenses will be seen, bedridden, confinement, hospitalization, expenses to related to your house, maybe renovation. You may go on for a renovation. So these things may happen. And related to 8th house, again you may become a bit more spiritual because of these things. Some losses also are seen, some loss of property. Can't okay, this might happen. So best thing is you can start worshipping Ganesha. Ketu can be controlled only by Ganesha, so surrender to Ganesha, and every Tuesday you can fast, or you can go to a Ganesha temple and do some pujas, some harikes. These things will help you to try to slow down the effects of Ketu. So this is the predictions for Gemini. Now moving predictions to Cancer. Now for Cancer people, again the cycle will start with Saturn. Now Saturn will move to the 8th house, which is house of losses. So Cancerian people should be very careful about their health. They may see some health issues if Saturn is weak. They may lose some objects. It might be anything, objects or in person, etc. In positive way, they may get some insurance or money, or they may get some hidden wealth, if ancestral wealth, can't say. From the 8th house, Saturn is going to aspect to 10th house. So Cancerian people should be very careful about their jobs. The jobs may be in trouble in your workplace. Might lose the job, or the situation may arise. Recession is in picture, so nothing can be avoided. From again, so the job area, they should be very careful. From 8th house, Saturn is going to aspect the 2nd house, so finances will be in trouble, or trouble in the family. So be careful about troubles in your family. Finances, you need to save money right now, from now. Again, Saturn from your 8th house is going to aspect your 5th house, house of finances, house of children. So trouble related to children, trouble related to love life, trouble related to investments, trouble related to your stomach area. All these things will be seen. Okay, so since this is aspect from your 8th house, so chances of negative results are more than positive results. So to cool down Shani, you need to worship Kurmavatara or Shani Dev directly to bring down the effects. On Saturdays you can visit the temples of Shani. Maybe you can fast on Saturdays also. Then from Shani will move to Jupiter. Jupiter is going to transit to the 10th house from April 22nd. So whatever the negative results brought by Saturn will be cooled down from April. So you can have some relief from April. So your jobs, maybe from April you may get better jobs. Jupiter is going to aspect your 2nd house, your 6th house, and also your 4th house. So these areas will be affected. So in sense, you can expect some relief from April 22nd. So your finances will improve after April 22nd. and maybe your problems related to the house will improve after April 22nd, and your health issues also may improve from April 22nd. So in short, January second half, February, March, and April second half, these things will be troublesome due to Saturn, and this trouble will be brought down after the entry of Jupiter in Mesha Rashi. So that is the prediction through Jupiter. And for Rahu is going to be coming back. So it will come to your 9th house. So here Rahu is going to give trouble in the 9th house. That is, your father might get some trouble, or some trouble from law. You may lose interest in your dharmic activities. You may lose interest in your religious activities. So that is October 30th predictions, from October 30th. From here, Rahu is going to affect your personality, your house of romance. So these three areas will be affected. So be careful about investments. Whatever investments you make, whatever interviews you attend, or whatever about related about children, also be careful about the children. And if you are pregnant, take care of your pregnancy, because Rahu is again not good for pregnancy. Trouble related to the stomach region. So these things will be seen for Cancerian people. Again, your personality is also going to get affected, so you may take some sudden decisions. Keep a view on your health also. And for Ketu will move to your 3rd house. So 3rd house is again good for Ketu, so it will give expansions, initiatives. You may take some initiatives. Some issues related to shoulder might be seen. Some issues related to your siblings will be seen. Not only siblings, even siblings, younger siblings, even elder siblings will be affected, but the damage won't be to that extent. Again, Ketu will also affect your 7th house, that is house of partnership, that is spouse. So fights with spouse might happen, so be careful about it. So Ketu is going to stay in this sign for about almost 18 months. So from October 30th 2023 to almost 2025 March somewhere. So all this time period you should be very careful with your partners, with your spouse, with your business. Again, the remedy is worship Ganesha. That was the predictions for Cancer. Now we'll move on to the predictions for Leo. Now for Leo, again we see Saturn presently it is at 6th house, it will move to the 7th house. That means for Leo people, marriage is on cards for unmarried people. At the same time, for married people there might be some troubles to their wives or husbands, whoever it may be, spouses. Trouble might also be there for business partners. See, again, if Saturn is strong, it will be positive results. Your health may improve, your partnership may improve, all those things. But Saturn is generally a troublesome planet, so 70% of chances is it gets negative results. So that's why when it comes to Saturn, we directly say some negative results. But it's not always the case. But if you have a strong Saturn, it will give you very positive results. Saturn from 7th house will aspect your 3rd house, for your 9th house, which means there might be some trouble due to law, trouble to your father, trouble to the dharmic activities you do, trouble due in temples, maybe trouble in your kneecaps. So it's just kneecap is thigh region. So the thigh region of Virgo people, of Leo people, should be an area of concern. And from here it is also going to aspect your Lagna. So health issues will be there. Please take care of your health issues. And from there it is also going to aspect your 4th house. So 4th house is nothing but your house where you stay. So it's not trouble, I believe, but it's some kind of issues will be related to your house. Maybe you want to renovate, or you want to move away from the house, or some fights in the family. All these things will be seen. As far as Jupiter will move to your ninth house, so there will be some relief if it is related to the government, or if there's some relief in your ties, some issues, health issues if you find in your legs. Other than that, some issues are related to your father. So all these things will come control after April 22nd. And from here, Jupiter aspects your third house. So any issues related to your siblings will solve. Also, hands, shoulders, any issues will be solved. Again, Jupiter is going to aspect your Lagna, which means your personality is going to improve. If you have some diseases, it is going to solve. Good image will be there in your family about your personality. From there, it is going to also aspect your fifth house. So you might expect a boy born in your family if you are newly married, or some good results from your son, and also good results to your children, investments. All these things will improve from April 22nd. So these are the 4 areas of concern. For Leo people. So Leo people, the area of concern due to Jupiter will be your personality, your children, and as well as your siblings. Okay. And for Rahu is going to transit into your 8th house from October 30th. So that is again a danger period. Here Rahu, especially Leo people, should be very careful about your travel. Whenever you travel or accidents, always be careful about your driving skills. So Rahu in 8th house is not good. So sudden accidents, sudden loss, anything might be seen. So Rahu is going to aspect your 8th house, 12th house, 4th house. So hospitalization is seen for Leo people, Leo ascendants. Foreign travel, it might, in a positive side, it may give you foreign travel away from house. You might have to stay away from your house, either to good reasons or bad reasons. It's up to you. So good reasons is you go to a foreign country on your own, maybe on a job, but you have to leave your family back and go, so you'll be away from your family. It might also happen some trouble that you have to leave your house and go. So these things are seen. So activities related to your house, moving away from your house, will be seen. So that is the predictions related to Rahu. And predictions related to Ketu. Ketu will move to the 2nd house. So which means problem in your finances, savings, fights in your family. These things will be seen. Here it is going to aspect the 10th house and the 6th house. So problem related to your job, that might also be seen. There may be some problems related to job activities. Also problems related to your diseases. There might be some diseases also. So overall a tough period. Be careful related to your work. If Ketu is strong, again positive results will be seen. But if Ketu is weak, your finances, your job, and injuries, fights with your enemies, all these things will be seen. Litigations, all these things will be seen. Now moving from Leo to Virgo. So here Virgo, Saturn is going to move to your 6th house. Saturn 6th house is a very good position. So all your enemies will be blown away. So if you are a sports person, you can have good results in your sports. And health issues will be solved. Generally Saturn kills the house which it is in a sense it solves the problem, protects. So all those diseases if you are having, it will be solving. From 6th house it is going to aspect your 8th house, so be careful about your properties, ancestral properties, something like that. Losses also might be seen. Saturn is going to aspect the 12th house, so take care of your health, expenses, etc. You might also turn spiritual. Again, Saturn is going to aspect your 3rd house, which means related to your initiatives. You may take initiatives, good initiatives, but at the same time it is going to affect your younger siblings. So these activities, this region will be focus area this year. So next 1.5 years you need to be careful about your expenses. I won't say expenses because Saturn is going to reduce your expenses, so that is a positive sign. Saturn is aspecting your house of losses, that means it's going to reduce your losses. Saturn is going to aspect your 3rd house, which is initiative. Maybe you may not be that encouraging, that daring, but you will be saved from wrong decisions, but at the same time your siblings will be in trouble. Overall your health should improve. And going back to Jupiter is going to transit to your 8th house. So your 8th house related activities, losses, injuries, sudden losses, they will be controlled. But again, Jupiter in 8th house is again not so encouraging, so watch out for any diseases. But if you are into research or if you are into scholarship, you want to make some research activities, you want to get into deep philosophy, learn or study some Vedic philosophies, occult science, everything, so that way it will help you. So you can divert your attention to this, so that will help you in improving your occult science skills. Otherwise, a negative way, it will affect your ancestral property or something. If you are supposed to receive, that you might receive. Anyhow, be careful about your health. If you are a jaundice or overweight person, diabetes or something like that, you should be very careful. From 8th house it is going to aspect your 12th house, so you'll be more spiritual. Your losses or hospitalization fees may get reduced. At the same time, it is going to affect your 4th house also. Maybe if you are looking to buy a new house, it's a good period. Your house or your family will be in a good situation, or it will improve your house or family situation. Pleasant situation will be there. And coming down to Rahu. Now Rahu will move to your 7th house for Virgo people. So here, if you're looking for marriage, it's a good time, but marriage won't happen within your caste. It will be an intercaste, means somewhere outside your caste. Might be outside your religion also, or maybe outside a country also, outside your place also. So that is a positive sign. If you are looking for marriage, you can readily go into it. Your social circle will improve, and your short travel, these things will be there. So short travels you can expect, even long travels will be there. Overall, it's an okay period for Virgo due to Rahu, but only thing is you should be careful about your relationships. If you're already married, then be careful, because Rahu can bring sudden events which may affect your relationships. Coming back to Ketu will move to your Lagna, so that means you are going to become more irritable person, your temperament may reduce. So Ketu generally brings fights, so you will be more fighting in nature. From Ketu it is going to affect your 9th house, that is you need to take care about your father or your ties or your dharma, problems related to law, all those things will be seen. You will be religious also, because Ketu supports religion, it supports renunciation. So this is one sign. So be careful about your investments. So investments in the sense children, investments, love life, all those things will be in trouble and you need to watch about it. So these three areas will be main for Ketu, that is for the Virgo people, Virgo ascendants. Now moving forward to Libra. Now here Libra, Saturn is moving to their 5th house, so that means they should be careful about their children, issues related to children, trouble related to children, trouble related to investments, trouble related to love life, trouble related to stomach. So all these things will be seen. So Libra people should be careful about the 5th house, and also their marriage or spouse life will be in trouble. So they have to work out on it, because Saturn is going to aspect their house of partnership. So this house is going to get affected. Again, Saturn is going to aspect the 11th house, that is house of travel or elder siblings. So these things will improve, and they may travel also outside. They may go on for a long travel, and the social circle may get affected. And Saturn is going to aspect the 2nd house, so your finances may get affected this time. So you need to watch about your finances, and also close family troubles, that is within your close family, that is blood relatives. So this may get affected. Coming to Jupiter, Jupiter is going to transit to the 7th house. So after April 22nd, whatever trouble you would have experienced in your marriage life may improve. Trouble with your partners may get solved from April 22nd. From 7th house, Jupiter is going to aspect 11th and 3rd house. So your relationships with your elder siblings and younger siblings will improve. Again, for long travels will be seen, profits will be seen, and 3rd house related activities, short travels will be there, and some initiatives you might take up. If you are good in writing, maybe you will write more about spiritualism. So all those things will be there, dharmic things, notes about good activities. So those things will be seen. And for transit of Rahu, Rahu is going to 6th house. So one good thing is there will be relief for you from whatever partnership troubles you had these days. If you had some problems in your marriage life, that may get solved after October 30th. So Rahu in 6th house aspects 10th and 2nd house. So something related to job. So after October 30th, you might find some issues in your job, or you might have a good expansion in your job. If Rahu is strong, you may get promoted also. You may see some expansions in your job. And keep an eye on your money. Money is savings. So Rahu would suddenly give losses in your expenses. If it is weak, if it is strong, it will give you good money. Then Ketu will move to, yes, 1 minute, sorry, yeah, Ketu is going to move to your 6th house. Okay, sorry, 1 minute. Ketu will move to the 6th house, Rahu will move to the 12th house. So in this way, Ketu in your 6th house will give you spiritualism, it will give you more spirituality, it will give you more inclinations towards religion in positive way. In negative way, it will give you, again, it is a for foreign travel, it might be negative for few, positive for others. So it will give you foreign travels. At the same time, you should be careful about expenses and hospitalization, all those things. So Libra people should be careful. Ketu here aspects the 8th house. Again, I should be careful about your driving skills, driving or riding skills. Accidents are possible, be careful. It is going to aspect your 4th house, so fight in your family house. If you are constructing or planning to buy a new house, you might find some trouble in that, so you need to be careful. Again, always worship Ganesha if you have problems related to Ketu. So that is the prediction for the Libra people. Now predictions for the Scorpio ascendants. Now for Scorpio people, Saturn is going to transit to your 4th house. Now what I can say is, if Saturn is going to 4th house and if Saturn is strong, you may buy a new home. So good chances for Scorpio people to buy a house. From here it is going to aspect your 6th house, that is house of activities and house of diseases. So if you are troubled or if you are suffering from any disease or something, that you can find a solution, because Saturn helps in killing the house. So if you are debt ridden, or if you are diseased, or if you are facing some trouble due to your enemies, all those things will reduce. It's going to reduce or fight it. So Saturn will help you to fight it. Again, from Saturn here, it's going to aspect your 10th house, so particularly be careful about your job, because it is going to aspect Leo. So that means your jobs might be in trouble, or troubles in jobs will be seen. Be careful about it. Again, it is going to aspect your Lagna, that is your personality. So be careful about your health. Going down with Jupiter transit. Jupiter transit will happen in April 22nd, so it is going to your 6th house. So again, please check your issues related to diabetes, jaundice, all those things. Please have checkup if you have any trouble related to these things, sugar, your sugar levels, etc. And also your activities related to loans. If you have any loans, you might try to clear the loans. If Jupiter is weak, it will purge your loans. And enemies, again, you may overcome your enemies. So that is there. From 6th house, Jupiter is going to aspect your 5th house. So jobs will be better after April 22nd. Job opportunities will be better from April 22nd, depending upon the strength of the Jupiter. And your finances, also savings, are also going to improve. So in that way, the triangle, so related to your job, related to your work, related to your finances. So everything related to your finances and earnings, that will be the focus, which will be good for the Scorpio after April 22nd. And coming down to Rahu, Rahu will go to the 5th house. So 5th house is again house of romance, so that will blow up. And investments, that will again be a sudden loss, a sudden gain. And 5th house is also related to your children, so be careful about your children. If you are pregnant, be careful about your pregnancy, because abortions are seen when Rahu is in 5th house. So from 5th house, it is going to aspect your 9th house, that is house of law. Be careful about your law, house of law, and be careful about your father in particular, and also be careful about your legs. I think that won't be an issue, but still you need to take care if there's some concern arising out. It also aspects your personality, so you will be more kind of crooked or intelligent, we can say, so which is a positive sign. Again, it depends upon the strength of Rahu. And going back to Ketu, Ketu will go to your 11th house, which is a good sign. So all these things, till October you have expenses, but from October you'll have good profits. Whatever investments or things you had done all these days, losses you had experienced all these days will reduce, and that will turn into profit. after Ketu enters the 11th house in October 30. That is after October 30. From there it will be again aspecting your house of partnership. So be careful with your partners, be careful with your wife, fights may erupt, be careful with your younger siblings, and also your neighbors. So this is going to affect the neighbors also. But generally I feel two positives and one negative. You can take it as a positive sign. Ketu traversing into 11th house is a good sign. Only thing is you should be careful about your partners, wives, business partners, long term relationships, foreign travels, all these things are seen. That is for Scorpio. Now going to Sagittarius. Now for Sagittarius, Saturn is going for third house, so it's a good sign. So if you are thinking of doing taking some initiatives, maybe related to your business or something expansion, or related to short travels, this is a good period. From third house, Saturn will be aspecting a fifth house, so be careful about your investments, love life. Be careful about your what I can say, love life, investments, health, stomach related issues, all those things you should be careful. So that is the thing what we see. And from third house it is going to aspect your ninth house, so again be careful about law. If some litigations or something is happening, you might overcome and win that, so that will be seen. So that is for the Sagittarius I am speaking about. And also from third house it is going to aspect your 12th house, so also be careful about your expenses related to hospital, expenses related to your dharmic activities, so donations what you give to the temples, hospitalization, all these things will be there. So your third house, your ninth house and your 12th house, so these things will be in focus. That is your romantic life, investment life, your parents, that is particularly father, dharma, constitution, law, and expenses. These are the focus for your entire 2.5 years. Now Jupiter will transfer to 5th house, so there will be relief for you related to your investments and children, everything after April 22nd. So after April 22nd you can expect some good results related to your children, and also yourself. If you are feeling some trouble in your stomach area, that there will be some relief. And if you are feeling like some downtrend due to your love life, etc., that will improve. So basically Jupiter in 5th house will give children, so newly married people can expect some children, because 5th house also gives pregnancy, that is children, good news related to children. From 5th house Jupiter is going to aspect your 9th house, so activities related to your dharma, activity related to your father, activity related to your law, the constitution, everything will improve. And it is also going to aspect your personality, so overall your personality is going to improve. You will be more inclined towards wisdom, acquiring knowledge, doing some dharmic activities the whole year, so these things will be seen. And for Rahu transit, Rahu is going to transit to your 4th house, which means if you are looking for buying a house and Rahu is strong, you can expect to buy a house in Rahu period. But that also means that you might have to travel, you might have to go away from your house, so you will expect some foreign travels. Foreign in the sense change of house, that also can be seen. From 4th house it is going to aspect your 12th house, 8th house. So if you are a spiritual person, you might, if Rahu is strong in your chart, you might get inclined to spiritual activities, dharmic activities. At the same time, you may have to travel also outside, but keep an eye on your expenses. Expenses are seen, certain losses are also seen, so you need to be careful about these things. And also for Ketu, Ketu will move to your 10th house. That means you need to be careful about your job or fight with your boss. There may be a fight with your boss, harsh speech or harsh word exchange of words with your boss, so be careful about it. Ketu from your job is going to aspect your 10th house, which means your finances will be in a tight position. It also aspects your 6th house, so be careful about injuries, because 6th house is house of surgery, injury, etc. You need to be careful about those things. Also enemies, so it is good for sports people, but expansions will be seen in sports and also related to work. So that is the predictions for Sagittarius. Now predictions for Capricorn. Now here Saturn, which is in the Lagna, that is 10th house, sorry, it's going to move to the 2nd house, that is your finances. So if you have a strong Saturn, your finances will improve, but otherwise you may have to face some troubles in finances and family, close family, so that will be there. Other than that, Saturn is going to aspect your 4th house, so if you have a good Saturn, you may come up with a new house, but a bad Saturn will see trouble in your present house and also trouble in your family life, fights in your family, some kind of sufferings in the family. It's going to aspect 8th house, so if you're expecting some ancestral property, okay, some movement will be there, but I see more of trouble because 5th house, that is Leo, is an enemy to Saturn, so I see some kind of losses to you this period for Capricorn. Other than that, it is also going to aspect the 11th house, so that means your house of expansion, so that means you might also see some expansions in this period, and your elder siblings might find some trouble, so be careful about these things. As far as Jupiter is there, Jupiter transits to 4th house, so here this gives relief to your family and your house. If you are planning to buy a new home, you may move to it, or you may come up with a good big house. From 4th house, it is going to aspect your 8th house, so ancestral properties will be seen, but be careful about your health. Sufferings will be there. It is also going to aspect your 12th house, that means your expenses may come down, but if Jupiter is weak, you will have to get hospitalized, or you may have to visit hospitals. At the same time, you will also find some dharmic activities happening in your life. That means you will be visiting more of temples also. You will be more of religious. That's what I mean to say. And coming back to Rahu moves to 3rd house, which is a good sign. So expansions will be there, short travels will be there, but problem to your siblings also will be there, so be careful about that. Siblings in the sense younger siblings. It is also going to aspect 11th house, so again long journey will also be seen. Expansions in your social circle will be seen. Aspect to the 7th house means marriage will be there for people who are unmarried. They may find some alliances, but it will be again intercaste or outer caste, not in your caste. Also be careful about your partners when you have a relationship with them. And Ketu will be moving to the 9th house, that means you will be having more spirituality in this period, that is from October 30th. You will have more of spirituality inclinations, but at the same time you will have some trouble with government or the law or whatever. Maybe you may break some rules. You need to pay for that. Again, need to be careful about your children, your investments, everything is going to aspect your fifth house. If you're going for some higher education, again you may find some trouble in that. Other than that, uh, problems related to their stomach region will be seen. Again, your personality, so you may get temperamental, you may get irritated, so try not to get irritated. You can always worship Ganesha for it. That is for Capricorn. Moving to Aquarius. For Aquarius, Saturn is going to be in the Lagna. So again, it's overall positive, you can say positive period. So be careful about your health, because it is in Aquarius. I believe it won't be much trouble, but still, if you have good points in Ashtavarga, you have a very good 2.5 years. At the same time, it is aspecting your 7th house of marriage is on the card. Since it is in Leo, it might be a bit of opposition from a family. A little bit of obstacles will be there, but you might get married, and you will have Saturn is going to aspect a 3rd house. So younger siblings might not be happy, or maybe trouble to them. Short travels will be seen. And again, Saturn aspects a 10th house. So activities related to your profession will be seen. So you need to stick to your profession. So don't try to change into a business or something like that. Better for next 2.5 years you work. Don't go for any new business or any kind of ventures. And coming back to Guru, Jupiter will transit to 3rd house. This means some positive to your siblings, but at the same time you might not be encouraged to take some initiatives which you want to take. You won't have that guts to do that thing, but at the same time something related to communications, writing and all will be improving. So maybe you'll concentrate more on your religious activities. You might like to write something on religion, or read about religion, or communicate about religion, dharma, or something related to money, commerce. These things might happen. And Jupiter from here aspects the 7th house. That means marriages are on card. You might get married after April 22nd. And also your 11th house, that is the house of your siblings, your elder siblings, maybe foreign travel, long travel, all these things will be seen. A good profit period. So people in Aquarius can expect marriage after April 22nd, long travels, short travels, communications, dharma, all these things will be seen. If you're already married, relationship will improve. That's the thing. Now for Rahu is going into your 2nd house. That means if Rahu is strong, you can expect good money, but Rahu is weak, you can expect to lose money. And again, Rahu aspects the 10th house, and Rahu aspects the 6th house. So overall, I believe it will be a good period, because if Rahu is strong, all these things will improve. Your job will improve, your work will improve, your money will improve. It all depends upon the strength of Rahu. If Rahu is weak, everything will suffer. As far as Ketu is concerned, Ketu moves to 8th house. So you need to be careful about your health. Losses are seen, sufferings are seen. Again, your money is going to be affected, so be careful about your savings. So savings will be question mark, because already Rahu is there. So it is as same as Ketu. Rahu is going to aspect your 12th house and your 4th house. So you might again get spiritual, long travel. See, 12th house, 4th house, 8th house indirectly also represents marriage, because these are expenses. Nowadays marriages are expenses, so that means losses. These houses also represent losses. Since Guru is indicating marriage, so losses related to marriage, in the sense you spend money. See, loss doesn't mean always negative, it's spending. What we say is spending. So spending on dharmic activities, spending on some other enjoyments, also spending in hospitals. That means diseases. So this is the predictions for Aquarius. Now finally we come to Pisces. So in Pisces, Saturn will move to the 12th house. So Saturn is going to move to your 12th house. That means Pisces people will have a tough period for 2.5 years. So expenses will be there that we cannot avoid based on your strength of Saturn. The expenses may be related to hospitals, will be related to dharma activities, temples. It may also represents confinement. Maybe you may undergo an accident or something which may give a bedridden life, or a fall in travel also away from your house. So you need to be careful about these things. From here it is going to aspect a third house. That means your finances will be affected, savings will be affected, so be careful about that. Family members will be affected. Saturn is also going to aspect your 6th house, which means diseases, so be careful about your diseases. Saturn also aspects your 8th house, so which is 8th house is also losses. So overall a bad period, I believe. Saturn in 12th house is not a good thing. We see expenses, we see diseases, we see losses in family. So you need to really worship Saturn. You should need to do some shanti for Saturn. And then Guru is going to your 2nd house, so which means good news for your finances. Maybe after April 22nd your finances will improve. Whatever damage Saturn does in these 3 months, Saturn will try to recover in 1 year after April 22nd. From there it is going to aspect your 6th house, so better some relief in your diseases or litigations or accidents. And from there it is also going to aspect your 10th house, so betterment in job, some good job opportunities may come up. You may take up some religious. If you are into commerce or something like that, you may also become head of the department. Jupiter means head of the department or managerial post or something like that, so promotion will be seen after April 22nd. But Saturn is also going to be there, which gives some negative results. So overall a mixed period, but the Jupiter period from April 22nd to next year April 22nd will be a bit positive, related to job, money, etc. When it comes to Rahu will come to your 1st house. Again, you will be intelligent, that is there, but you need to be careful also about your health, etc. Overall Rahu can also pull you up or pull you down, so it's two-way. It depends upon the strength of Rahu, how it is. If Rahu is good, it will take you to heights. If it is bad, it will push you down. Rahu from your Lagna is going to aspect your 5th house, so affecting your love life. 9th house makes you more religious if your Rahu is strong. If weak, makes you atheist. Also affecting your father. Rahu affects the father also, because 9th house represents father, 9th house also represents government, 9th house also represents your thighs or legs, etc. So all these things will be in focus. And as far as Ketu will move to your 7th house, so trouble in your relationships, family, or marriage, whatever. There might be fight with your partners or fight with your wife, so be careful regarding this. Don't enter into fights or thing. Overall, this 1.5 year from October 30th 2023 to March 2025 the marriage life will be in focus, so be careful about it. Ketu from your 7th house will aspect 3rd house and also aspects your 11th house. So that means long travels, short travels, both will be there. Relation with your siblings may soar, so you need to be careful about them. Your social circle may break up. You may fight with your social circle and give up your social circle, so that is possible. And again, your writing, all those things should be very keen. You should be very careful how you communicate. So these are the predictions for Pisces. So these are all predictions, generalized predictions based on your ascendant signs. So anything you want to clarify based on detail, you can always contact me. So there are various signs which we'll discuss. Pisces, so there are numbers, okay. 12 represents Pisces, 11 represents Aquarius, 10 represents Capricorn, 9 represents Sagittarius, 8 is Scorpio, 7 is Libra, Virgo is 6, Leo is 5, and Cancer is 4, and Gemini is 3, 2 is Taurus, and 1 is Aries. So these are the numbers allotted to different signs, and the chart which you see at this position, this is your Lagna. So on whenever whatever period of your birth, whichever sign is at the horizon in the east, that becomes your Lagna. So that's how the predictions are made for Lagna. So any doubts, you can always contact me personally. So I will be ending this session. So hope you liked it. Thank you very much.